let me tell you, I'm feeling like as adults we could use a refresher course in how to communicate effectively with people, because this whole episode felt chaotic, messy, he said, she said, felt real playgroundish to me. What's up? How you doing, Ray of Sunshines? I am your girl, Talisa Ray, lifestyle coach. Some of you are vested in my journey with the 30-day detox tea that I received from Teami. I've received some inboxes, and I just want to give you an update. I've been doing it now for 21 days. How are you feeling, Talisa? Lighter, less bloated? Especially around that time of the month, I was like, oh, I don't feel as bloated, as like gassy. TMI. I have a lot more energy. Like, I have to force myself to take a midday nap because I just love naps. And so because I have so much more energy, I'm not feeling so heavy. The toxins are being removed from my body. It's hard for me to take a nap. And I low-key can say I feel like I might have lost a couple pounds. Like, it may be assisting me with the other things that I'm doing to manage my weight, right? So I'm excited about it. If you are interested in the Teami Blends 30-day detox tea, all of this information is down below in the description box, including my 10 code. Let's go ahead and get into this review. Coach, we are reviewing Ready to Love Season 4. Part 2 of the finale. Okay, now listen, there's some stuff that we wanted to hear, we needed to see. Some of y'all gonna be like, I told you so. I'm gonna be like, well, you know. We pick up where we left off, child. And Kyra says, it's a no for me. I want to focus on me. My heart is taking too many hits. It is what it is. But you know what? AJ knows what to do if he wants to come for me. I wouldn't come for her with the 10-foot pole, okay, if I was AJ. I'm just gonna be honest. And it kind of just showed even more so as she talked to Jason, like, that she also may be ready for a commitment, just not with AJ, just not, you know, not with anyone here on the show. And that's good. Like, she's committed to herself, but she done told you no twice, sir. So don't go sliding her DMs. Don't go calling her or seeing her up in Houston somewhere. You know, I mean, be friendly, but you know, don't be trying to holler at her. It's a lot of beautiful women out here in these streets, okay? Then we get Troy and his infamous kiss on the cheek, child. You know, he said it was his signature move, but kind of cleaned it up like, you know what, when you greet people, you kiss on the cheek, which is absolutely true, but not people that you just met. Like, I know that when I greet my homegirls, that's what we do, we kiss on the cheek. When a guy that I've known for forever greets me, it's a hug and a kiss on the cheek, depending on the energy. Sometimes it's not a hug, sometimes it's a what's up, how you doing, you know, because y'all may not know, but I got a little bit of hood in me. So when I see those people in my life, I'm always like, what's up, how you doing? It ain't really like a hug and a kiss on the cheek. You see what I'm saying? When Tommy asked him what he learned, he said, I learned to be more careful, especially on camera. listen, at least he was honest. People talking about what about how you move off camera? Well, I had a short period of time. This is not reality, okay? This is TV, so be mindful of that. I kind of like that he said that because it is. It's TV. This not real life. Amber did try and come for him just for a second. Like, well, why would you say it's your signature move? It was like she wanted to attack him. He was like, hey, yo, I accept my responsibility. I accept my behavior. The end. That's really all that it takes for a lot of us to shut the hell up, is someone to take accountability for their actions. Do that and no one else can say anything, right? It's about owning how you feel, owning the things that you do. I can appreciate that, even if he is full of shit. Then they talk about Andrea, the cat lady. Her cat Egypt is back. She said she learned that she's not assertive enough. That's not everybody's thing, right? That is not everybody's thing to be assertive. She's soft, right? So that's what it is. Like, maybe speak up a little bit, but you don't have to go outside of your character. You can be soft and demure and still get the things that you want. Anyway, they just weren't into her because she had lost her cat child and she seemed weird. Okay, so then we move on, honey, to Jason and Miss Kyra. You know, we all wanted to know what happened. I mean, but for me, it was plain as day. And though he did not say it, it was said in a roundabout way. So we saw some unseen footage of Jason and Kyra at a food truck, and she's sharing, you know, her feelings about COVID and how people, her friends were like, oh, I think you might be depressed or whatever. It was a moment that they bonded because, you know, she was like, thank you for being open and sharing with me, you know, about your battle with depression, etc., 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 right? So it looked like a really genuine moment that she was having, something that I feel like we didn't see enough of her. We didn't learn a lot about her, but this felt like more of a genuine moment. While watching them replay though, you could see that it felt for me like Jason was a little uncomfortable watching, you know, their interaction. I don't know, maybe I'm tripping. Y'all let me know down below in the comments. Tommy had asked Jason, you know, well, what changed? What happened? And he kept saying the same thing, which is I needed to know what she wanted to do. She wanted to go through the entire process, which means to the end. And yo, sis, at the ranch, we at the end. What do you mean? And though he wasn't saying that he was, well, he did kind of say, I still was into you, right? But he didn't say, I needed you to say that you wanted to be with me. And I would have chosen you hands down. That's how I feel that in my spirit. But I feel like right now, the choice that he made was perfect for him. Because she kept going around in circles. Circles around me. Hey, circles. Like, I feel like she just kept going around in circles about, you know, you weren't being, you know, you had already chosen, you know. I feel like that when all the guys chose me, that changed the dynamic between us. Listen, it could, but at that point, it was also time to reassure him that you were interested in him, especially if you are in or you want a committed monogamous relationship. You need to reassure them that I want to be with you. Shit, in any relationship, you have to sometimes reassure people of their value to you. You know, that you mean something to me. Let me not say value, well, that they do add value, right? Sometimes you have to provide some reassurance. Now, that shouldn't be all the time, but you should be letting them know that I see you, I see you, I value you, I know your worth. I want to continue to see you. Sometimes you have to say that, and I think that was what Jason was looking for. And if all these people are choosing you, then you don't really know what you want. You're indecisive, and that's what you've been doing anyway, right? That's how you've been moving, and you should have said what you wanted. Nonetheless, she said that she did not feel the honesty and vulnerability, and he was not a safe space for her. I was like, wow, that's a big deal, y'all. Like, that's a big deal. You saying you don't feel the honesty, you don't feel that he was vulnerable and he wasn't a safe space. Let's break this down just for a second, because I feel like he was honest. He was honest about that he wanted to be with you, at least from what we saw, right? We don't know what the hell goes on behind scenes, but I only can talk about what I see on the screen. I feel like he was honest. He was vulnerable. Vulnerability is me sharing with you that I had depression. A safe space, you just shared about the whole COVID situation. So I don't understand how that's not a safe space, because if I don't feel safe around you, baby, let me tell you how I'm not sharing with you that I had a moment of depression because I'm a single woman and I'm living by myself and I can't interact with other people except by phone and Zoom and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't have shared that with you. That to me seems some intimate information. So I don't know Kyra. I don't know Kyra. I don't know Kyra. But I can't tell you how to feel either. But if I break it down and I think about it, you kind of negated what you said in the way that you moved, just in that one little scene that we didn't see. Anyway. She also said that Jason kept telling her, if you don't, you know, boss up, if you don't tell me what you want, I'm gonna have to pursue Liz, right? And so your natural reaction, let's just keep it a band. Some brother tells you, okay, well, if you ain't gonna say how you feel, I'm gonna go with this other girl. What we say? Yo, get the fuck on. Go choose her. Like, if you have to choose between two people, is what they say, right? If you have to choose between two people, choose the other person. because I'm never an option. That is the sentiment that you get. Y'all can't lie. Y'all can't lie. Well, go on, do what you want to do. Go on, move how you want to move. I don't give a fuck. You know the song. Listen, I also feel like she was way too passionate in expressing, like, all this emotion that was still there in expressing how she felt. You know, and then I just like that Jason said straight up, you're smart, you're beautiful, you know, you're intelligent, you're very calculated, but in the matters of the heart, the matters of your emotions, you have a wall up. The end. My conclusion is, as a woman, we have to sometimes learn how to hear what someone else is saying. We need to listen, and I've seen this in another instance. Sometimes we have to actually hear the words they say, not what we want to say, not what our feelings are saying. You know, what does Dr. Nicole say? Feelings are not facts. Like, actually listen to what is said and evaluate the situation. Like, really look at it, because I feel like she wasn't listening to anything. I feel like she just had a point to prove. I feel like she needed to make her stance known. Like, this dude didn't make me feel safe. He wasn't honest, and I didn't feel vulnerable around him, so how could I choose him? Like, I feel like she probably just needs a lesson in listening, which is part of communication. And Jason, sir, you don't tell nobody, if you don't do this, I'm gonna go move forward. Because every woman I know would say, then make the best decision for you and move forward. Actually, let me help you make that decision. Move the fuck on. Like, that is exactly, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. When he goes back and sits down, you know, Liz is very reassuring about telling him, you know what, you did the right thing. You respected her. Now she has the closure that she needed. You know, and I mean, listen, they look like a whole ass couple. That little segment right there, they look like a whole ass couple, because that's what you do. You reassure your spouse, right? You know, they got their mics on and everybody can hear them. And you do see a pan and you see Kyra turn around and look. But, you know, listen. Miss Liz didn't say nothing wrong. She just said the truth. We move on to Stacey and David and the password gate, as they called it, and the red flag. I wrote down that David is the perfect example of a mansplainer. Like, sir, we had this whole conversation, right? But they also rehashed the conversation, and all he did was try and make sure that we understood his point of view. But I feel like there are some things that are still personal to you, and that is my journal. Listen, do not go in my journal. I told y'all that my husband read my journal that one time and his little feelings was hurt, because that's my safe space to really just share. You don't want me to share with my friends, right, about how I feel. So let me put this in here so that my friends don't get all of this thrown and dumped on them. These are my true emotions. Don't fucking read it. And so when he talked about being married and having full transparency and having passwords, etc., what I know is full transparency does not equate to me giving you my passwords. Full transparency for me means I'm going to vocalize and share things with you. I'm not going to be hiding things from you. Yes, if you want to see something and look through something, you're welcome to, but why? Because but why do you need to, is my question. Because we have a relationship built on a foundation of trust and honesty and transparency. So I should be able to share with you anything, whether it be finances, whether it be somebody slid in my DMs because, you know, they thought I looked good, but don't you think I look good? Like, so all of those things, you know, it's kind of, I understand sharing. I do. I understand sharing, but there are some things that I think that we need for ourselves. And I want to say that I like the way Stacey articulates herself. I do, and probably because she's a Virgo, and Virgos are very much so rational. We think shit through, right? We think about how shit goes, and we speak from a place of knowing. Because if I don't know something, I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna just skip over it. That's how I feel. Any other Virgos would agree? You know where. Let's see. Oh, child. Vernisha and Joel. This was a whole ass mess. This is probably gonna take up most of the time. When she sat down, what I said was that dress was horrible. She's such a beautiful woman. But that dress was horrible. Her body language tells you that she's upset, that she don't want to be in the area. You know, that whole closed off. She didn't have her hands like this, but she might as well. But she had them crossed, closed off in your hand, excuse me, in your lap. And then on top of that, instead of, you know how when you are into someone, right, you guys are sitting close together. They were not. They probably had 6 feet. And it wasn't, you know, they had all been tested for COVID already, right? So they had the distance of 6 feet between them. And she was faced away from him. Even though that would have been the way she would have faced it. That would have been the way she would have faced. Anyway, so she could be towards the camera, but it felt more pointed that way. Because you still sometimes have you have a little bit of this so that you're next to them, right? Y'all can't see the bottom half of me anyway. And if you did it, you would see it was my pajamas. Then, you know, Tanya asked, what's up, honey? And did she not tell us? She told us. She told us that 2 weeks after filming, shit changed. Now, I know some of y'all is not surprised because y'all was like, he don't like her. But I felt like that there was some connection between the two of them. And listening to her share how much time they spent together tells me that there was something. But she said that 2 weeks after filming, they no longer communicated, and that was on her. That was her choice. She said that he told her that they were moving too fast and he wanted to slow down. Like, I don't think that that's an issue because they were moving rather rapid. She said that she thought that they were in the same, at the time that they were going the same pace. Like, what do you mean I'm moving too fast? Like, we are moving at the same pace as one another, but in actuality he's the one that slowed down. And then he went ahead and admitted it, that he slowed down and he pulled back a little bit. Now y'all remember through the episode there was twice. One, somebody went the whole territorial thing, and two, that she likes you too much. She likes you too much. And as much as we didn't want to admit it, we know that as women we can see things, right? The way our discernment, our intuition, our bodies, our spirits, we can read a room if we are in tune. But sometimes, you know, as a sister, we might be too extra. Or a cousin, you know, because sisters and cousins be like, yeah, no, I don't like her. But you know what I'm saying? So he probably really took all that into consideration, stepped back and looked at it. She said that he downplayed their relationship and it hurt her. The one thing I'm going to say is she's honest about how she feels. She shared that they communicated constantly in the morning and at night before they went to bed. That when they did their interviews, you know, those little confessionals, that he would wait for her outside and then they would go to breakfast. But then she hit us with, we stopped being intimate. Intimate how, girl? How were you guys intimate? Were you physically intimate? Like goodness and mercy intimate? Like, oh my goodness, Lord have mercy intimate? So y'all can understand what I'm saying. The adult way? Or was it the intimacy that you have with someone that is where your spirits connect and you like you hug and you kiss and you know you rub on one another, but it's a more of an emotional intimacy than it is a physical one? Y'all let me know down below in the comments what kind of intimacy they had, because what it tells me is that maybe, just maybe, there was some stuff happening. I'm really trying my best, y'all, not to be like, you know what, they was screwing. That's the nice way to say it. They was getting it on. Let's get it on. Like, that's how I feel. Like, the energy that she's giving tells me that they crossed the line. I wish I could sing that song. We crossed, forget it. Then she goes on to say, word on the street is that he was dating Stacey. And that he was hanging out with Stacey and Chrissy, and that he telling people he's single. Listen, her whole energy just says very much so territorial, very much so jealous, very much so in her feelings, very much so I have had my heart broken and now I got to sit on here on TV because I've been looking stupid. Now I got to sit here and look stupid some more. Like, her whole energy is a woman scorn. Hold on. She said that he wanted to be friends with everybody, so much so that he neglected her. All of this is very much so territorial. It is very much so reading, you my man, and you forgot about me because you want to be friends with all the cast. Okay, so Joelle then says, yeah, I don't know, I ain't dating Stacey. Stacey in the background like, what? Probably like, he ain't even my type. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, she got a type, and she probably like, he ain't even it, okay? And said, you know, I wasn't even going out except for the watch parties, and that's where I would see all the people. And when people asked me if I was in where my girl at, I would be like, we taking things slow. He said, you know, that ain't me downplaying the relationship. You saw Tommy go, because low-key, it is an easy way out. We taking things slow. It's a way for me not to hurt your feelings. It is a way to pull out of a relationship. So he full of shit. He may not have wanted to be with her in that manner, and so he was trying to find a easy way to let her out, right? I'm taking things slow, because he seems like a genuinely good guy and doesn't want to hurt people, right? That's how it felt to me. Like, he genuinely has a good spirit and didn't want to hurt her in a way, you know, that would break her down. But no matter what you did, because the way she was feeling about you was not the way you were feeling about her, would have hurt. She said, you know, listen, all he had to do was say that we weren't dating exclusively. I asked, do you want to date other people? He said no. So, you know, I don't have to do this. Like, I know how to fall in line. If we dating other people, I can date other people. Tommy had asked, where you hear these rumors about him and Stacey? And she said, from the cast. Now, hold on a second. Because Stacey said exactly that. Wait a minute. I don't know how my name got all of this into this. And she was like, well, if it's not true, I apologize, right? She was like, yeah, because you was acting ugly with me. Baby. Let me tell you. When she said, I saw you at the club or whatever, up in the corner, standing over there, touching on his chest. You know, I don't like that kind of movement. I don't like stuff like that. Both her and Joelle was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, ma'am? Oh, look, you hear me stuttering? I just really was like, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath, because the green-eyed monster is out. Green is the color for your choice today. No wonder, because she is out and she is in full effect. She is territorial. She said it. What's mine is mine. I'm not into sharing. So she felt like she was over there kikiing in the corner. Girl. All that did was fuel the fire of whatever the rumors and the gossip was about him and Stacey. So her seeing that, she just was like, yeah, no ma'am. Then he gives some examples of things that were like uncomfortable. One of which was she wanted to start spending the night, and he was like, it's too soon. So 2 weeks after, I don't know how long, because every time I give an approximate guess of how long they've been hollering at each other, right? Y'all come for me like, no, it was this amount, girl. Whatever many days it was what it was. But my question is, how long or how soon is too soon? I feel like Jason, I feel like Joelle made a wise decision. I'm still getting to know you, and I got these children at my house. I can't have you spending the night yet. You can't bring your spend the night bag. You can't stay over yet. Like, it was too fast, too much, too soon. Spend the night mean we've been sleeping together. We've been jicking. Tommy brings up how their conversation about Joelle's lack in communication from, you know, before the conversation that they had. And he said, do you think that it's that this time? And he was like, no, not this time. The energy, because she's scorned, because she's heartbroken, is very much so, I don't want to hear what you're saying. It's a lot of he said, she said. It's a lot of no accountability taken on both of their parts. Like, be accountable for maybe you were moving too fast. Be accountable for you probably led her on a little bit with the waiting on her and the breakfast. And the, you know, we saw that spending her birthday with her. Like, maybe you gave her the impression. Be accountable for that shit and be like, maybe I did give the impression that I wanted these things and I wanted things to move in this direction, and for that I apologize, right? And for her, you know what, maybe I was moving too fast, maybe I am a little jealous, maybe be accountable for that shit, because it's easier. This just feels like fucking I'm in high school and my boyfriend I found out my homegirl sent me a message or something that my boyfriend is seeing somebody else. Like, it's just how it really feels to me. He was dead wrong for the narrative that he gave her, which is that this is something that I want, that I want to be with you, that I want to move forward fast. Like, you know, I feel like she could have read into it a little bit, but she had to have gotten that feeling from somewhere. And it doesn't appear like she's somebody who would not share that. And I think too, because she's a little combative, a little argumentative, can you handle her as her stepdad said, that also is probably a bit of a turn off. Then he said something about, you said you was gonna slap somebody, what about that? Like, what? Who we slapping? What we? I think it might have been in jest, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she could try if she want, I slap that hoe, but you know, nonetheless, because she was like, he takes stuff you say and run with it, because he don't know you well enough to know when you're serious and when you're not. You know what I mean? Like, y'all, I'm not giving him no pass, because I feel like the narrative he gave her was that this is what he wanted. There's no way she made that up on her own. And as much as men want to be like, we did this, that, and the third, the fact of the matter is, our delusion when we have it comes from the narrative you provide, the way you treat us, the way you make us feel like we mean something to you. And so when a woman starts acting like, oh, we together, it's because what? You made her feel that way. And nobody really had a conversation about what you really were feeling. Tommy said, so what do you want? What do you want? She said, you know, I don't know what I want. I thought that we were both wanting the same thing, headed in the same direction, and right now I don't know. And Joelle says, I'm not sure that I want this no more. You know, because listen. I just feel like it was a lot. It was messy. Nobody was listening. Nobody was accountable. You know, we were all operating off of very high emotions that we had not had an opportunity to process. That's why it's important to process how you feel, so that you can be able to really articulate it in a way that people can receive it. Because nobody received anything at this moment but a bunch of mess. And it seems like everybody was disappointed, because this was the couple that they thought were going to make it to forever. Have a couple of forevers, okay, in Chrisette Michelle's voice. Like, y'all saw it. Y'all saw that that he wasn't as into her as she was into him. I mean, I saw it too, but I knew he liked her in some manner. And the way this, like, chaotic, tumultuous disagreement, high volume, passionate argument or discussion or whatever was happening would definitely make a man say, I don't want to do this. Now, I'm gonna give her this. I'm with her. I ain't never had to chase after no man. And all you had to do is say what it is that you wanted or did not want, because I don't have to. I ain't got to. I'm not about to. Sir, I will not be chasing after you. Once it is clear that this isn't what you want, guess who moves on? Me? Vernisha? Every woman, well, I can't say every, but the majority of women that are watching right now, the majority of women that watch the show, like, I'm not so desperate that I'm gonna be begging some man to be with me. I'm with her with that 150,000 million%, whatever number you want to choose, a lot, okay? I'm not doing it. I'm gonna bow out gracefully. I'm gonna be hurt like Vernisha. I'm gonna be hurt. I'm gonna feel away, but I'm gonna bow out. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you in this kind of manner though either. I'm gonna just say, okay, I may try and understand it for a minute. I may. But I'm not gonna have you tell me more than once you don't want me though, sir. Anyway, you can see that Vernisha definitely has feelings for him, because she's pissed, right? She's pissed. She's like, I'm done. I don't care. And we know that the opposite of love is indifference. And she is not indifferent because she's out there crying. And I feel for her. I feel for her. I really do. Like, she was all in and he wasn't. He strung her along. I don't care what y'all say. He did. He told her some things that, you know, aligned with her spirit and the things that she wanted. And now, you know how that feels, y'all. Especially, you know how that feels. We've all been heartbroken. It feels like you just wasted time, but it's not time wasted, beautiful Vernisha. It is time that you learn. You know, it was the time that you learned something. I don't know what it is that you learned. Hopefully both you and Joel can have a refresher course in communication, right? No situation is wasted time. We should learn something from everything that we do and how we move. My heart, I just had a moment. Excuse me, because I'm not going to be crying. We should learn something from every part of our life. Every heartbreak, every joy, every sadness, every death. We should learn something. And if you aren't learning something, if you're not learning something and being accountable for the part that you play, and being able to dissect it and being able to heal from it in a healthy manner where you're not bitter and mad at the world, then there is some work that has to be done. Child. I just had a moment. It was just, for me, that was just a moment where it just connected with my spirit. Like, that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really have to learn from the experiences that we have and not call them failures. You know, not be ashamed of them. What we do and what we go through helps someone else, right? Be proud of your life because it got you to where you are today. That is where I am right now. That's why I got the, like, crocodile water. I don't know, can y'all see that? In my eyes, because I am who I am today because of all of my experiences, good, bad, and otherwise. Child. All right, let's keep going. It's already gonna be a million minutes long. We getting to Liz and David. Child, we needed to get to Liz and David. David tries to be a master manipulator. That is something that he definitely has to work on. He definitely also wants to control the narrative. Master manipulator, I don't want to look stupid. Nobody wants to fucking look stupid ever in life. Nobody, but we all have. So we revisit their relationship. I wish they would have showed us them singing together. That was one of my favorite moments when I thought that they were actually gonna work. You know, immediately Tommy called him out. Like, why wouldn't you let Liz speak? And David is full of excuses and is like, you know, that's just a piece of it. Y'all, you know, really can't see. Y'all don't know what that's surrounding and what happened or whatever. He says he never asked her if she kissed Jason again in front of his friends. As she's trying to tell the story, because Tommy asked her to speak, he's constantly interrupting. And for me, that's a sign of somebody that does not know how to listen. If you're constantly interrupting someone, you do not know how to listen at all. That is a part of communication. It is not just talking, but it is listening and being able to process what somebody is saying. That shit was getting on my nerves. Tommy told him the energy you had on that day, you was coming in hot. Okay, never mind, because y'all may not hear that beat in my head. So he says that it initiated because she called him talking about, I heard that you chose Kyra. He was like, I'm not gonna be part of that. Said it was too messy and that he would decide that he would self-eliminate because of that. Tommy said, listen, bro, anybody who self-eliminates has to come through me. So pretty much saying, you did not self-eliminate. You made that choice in that moment because you felt like you was about to be booted off. and that you had no dignity. He shared, you know what, you delivered the message for Stacy and Chrissy that they were not ready to love, but you could not sit there and receive that information. That's not a good look. The whole time it just felt like a bunch of bullshit he was talking. The whole time it felt like all he wanted to do was make himself look good. And I know y'all gonna tell me about what y'all saw on this live and on that live. I'm only talking about what I saw on the television screen, child. Y'all can share with me all the stuff you like. I receive it, I welcome it, because I'm not watching every live. I'm not that invested. Shame on me, I guess. But that's why y'all here. You can share the information so I could be like, what? And the rest of us could be like, what? I didn't know that. Because all I know is what they show me on TV. I even follow a couple of them, but I still don't watch their lives. I'm just not that vested after the show goes off. Maybe that's just... Anyway, he apologizes for the way she felt. Because her feelings are valid. Not for his actions. Not, you know, being accountable, but the way it made her feel. Somewhere in between that arguing, going back and forth, you know, she told him, this is what the problem is right here. Right here. Because you don't fucking listen. Anyway, she accepts his apology and gives a good old pat on the back, lean back hug. As Tommy said, good old church hug. Child, she accepts graciously, right? Because that's who she is. Even though you can see that there's a glimpse of something that she has worked on for a long time. So don't try her, don't push her to a place where she has to show up like that. We all got it. So then we go to Jason and Liz. She's like, can I have a kiss? You know, it was almost like a comfort. You know what I'm saying? And also to be like, yes, bitch, we're still together. We're still together. But more like comfort. You know how after you've had, like, your energy is all in a spiral and you need, like, I need to be calmed down. I feel like that's what that was from, that she needed. I mean, y'all can act like y'all ain't never needed that if you want to. We replay their journey. And, of course, their journey for us started at the ball, right? However, from what y'all shared is that he had been trying to get to her for a long time and the producers were not allowing that to happen. Like, everybody else was connecting on the side because they had phone numbers of one another, but they were not allowing it to happen. So, you know, sometimes the way God, the universe, Earl, your ancestors, spirit guides, the way they set up, honey, what's meant to be is meant to be. What's gonna happen is gonna happen, and can't nobody make it not. So Tommy had asked, well, what did it for you? What was the thing that did it for you? She said his honesty, his consistency, and the way that we communicate. We communicate great together. Oh, excuse me, and his spiritual groundedness. Sounds like the opposite of what Kyra was saying. She also said he makes me feel safe. And I think she used a couple of those words because she wanted it to be known that he does not, I don't have those same feelings that Kyra had. Because listen, if you know like I know, you could be with a man today that is no good for you, that treated you like shit. Well, I ain't gonna say like shit, but just was no good for you, right? And he moves on. Y'all break up. And you see him with someone else. And he treats her like the world revolves around her. Like the sun and the moon sets with her, right? The fact of the matter is, everybody's relationship with one person is different. He could be garbage to me, but love somebody else. I always say, he's a good guy. Hold on. I always say when they are good guys and we move our separate ways, he's a good guy. He's just not good for me. He's gonna be great for somebody else, but not for me and what I need and the kind of love I need. That's not it. And I think that this is a prime example of he wasn't good for Kyra. He's a good dude, but he just wasn't good for Kyra because it seems like he's good for Liz. Me and my homegirl was just talking about this. So he says, when asked by Tommy, he said she positions herself to be pursued Okay, so this is another moment that I'm having. My homegirl and I just had this conversation. Is there a such thing as too independent? Because he did say she got all her, you know, she got her shit together. We were talking and somebody told one of my friends, right? She was like, oh, when I get me a boyfriend, we gonna go to San Diego or wherever the fuck they was going, right? And he was like, you don't want that, you too independent. What exactly does that mean, we're too independent? My mother has told me that on a myriad of occasions, that I'm too independent. We're single mothers, so we know how to make shit happen. Hold on, we are black women that are single mothers, so we have to make shit happen for our family. And sometimes I guess that could come off as too independent. I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't like it. Fellas, help me understand. So pretty much what I'm saying is, people, we aren't posturing ourselves to be pursued. Dear future baes with an S. Yes, more than one, okay? Dear future baes, shoot your shot. Shoot your shot. I will let you know if I am off limits and not open to connections. Shoot your shot, please, and thank you. Okay, because I still have that problem today. Ain't nobody hollering. Every now and again. Ain't nobody hollering though. Okay, and then the people that are of not of quality. They're good men, but they aren't good for me. Anyway, let's get off. He said, where are you guys now? Jason shares, we are dating exclusively. We are together. This is my boo. Pretty much is all you heard. That's what I heard. So everybody thought that they wasn't serious. They are serious. Because he even asked her about, asked them about, so how are you navigating? Are we still being, are we still staying on the program, being celibate, right? And she was like, I have my boundaries. Like, they're set. My boundaries are set. I'm not doing this, right? And so he's like, I respect her enough where we don't cross that boundary. Because yes, we are intimate, but intimacy is not the penetration. And that's why I asked what kind of intimacy is happening with Vernisha, or happened with Vernisha and Joel, right? But she's like, yeah, we kiss and hug, and there's other ways to be intimate. Anyway, he goes around, Tommy goes around and asks people what they doing. Listen, I don't think any of us care really about any of that, because we saw it during the process. This ended the season, y'all. This was it, the end for Ready to Love season 4 in Houston. Okay, I think the next one is gonna be in DC, in Washington, or is it gonna be in Seattle? I don't know. Wherever the next one is gonna be. Are y'all coming back and watching again? Because I know y'all was disappointed. Y'all be disappointed every year about something, but it's for entertainment, and it looks like we got one real couple out of it. Looks like we got one real couple, so let's see how that works out. Y'all let me know down below in the comments what y'all thought about the whole season. What did y'all think about this episode? Like, for me, it was very childish, very, but it all was. It all makes me feel like not just them, but all adults can use a refresher course in communicating. Sometime in your life, probably about when you hit about 30, you should probably revisit how to communicate with people. Maybe I fucking need to write a book about, do a refresher course in communication. I don't know, refreshing communication. I don't know, something. I don't know, something. I feel like that might be a thing. If somebody's stealing it, I'm coming for you, because that's my idea. Anyway, I am your girl, Talisa Ray. Thank you so much for rocking with me all season long. I appreciate you more than you know. I am grateful that you stuck around for these long ass reviews when they were late. Any of that, I'm grateful. Thank you, 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 thank you. If it's your first time visiting my channel, go ahead and click the subscribe button to become a ray of sunshine. Next to that is the notification bell, because I still be doing shit. So you want to subscribe and click that bell so you're alerted of when I upload videos. Give this video a thumbs up, because this is our last Ready to Love video. Thumbs up, because it's the last one. Share it because you want people to know about me and who I am and to be able to have conversations with you. I love you in real life and want every good thing that God has in store for you, even if you don't know what that is for yourself. Hugs and kisses and lots of love. I'll see you on the next review.